Week revoked the security clearance of former CIA chief John Brennan, citing Mr. Brennan's, quote, lying and recent conduct characterized by increasingly frenzied commentary as the basis of that decision. He had this to say on Friday.
There's no silence. If anything, I'm giving him a bigger voice. Many people don't even know who he is, and now he has a bigger voice, and that's okay with me because I like taking on voices like that. I've never respected him. I've never had a lot of respect.
Here's just a few of the things Mr. Brennan has said about Mr. Trump.
Donald Trump has badly sullied the reputation of the office of the presidency. Mr. Trump continues to have his ignorance of the facts or willful disregard of them. I and so many other former national security officials are speaking out because of the abnormal and aberrant behavior of Mr. Trump.
And he said a lot more worse things than that. With me to discuss, former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci and founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. I immediately regret bringing those two guys in at the same table. This is going to go very smoothly, I'm sure. Mr. Scaramucci, what do you think about revoking this? Is this vindictive or is this justified?
Well, listen, he can do anything he wants in that capacity as it relates to it, but I would have been more cautious about it because over 75 years you've had a bipartisan commitment on national security. We've done great things on the national security front since 9/11. The president obviously was a huge supporter of all these guys during the 9/11 crisis, which is only a short 17 years ago or 16 years ago. And so for me, I would not be doing it, but he wants to do it. I get why he's doing it. But, Jesse, I've got a very contrarian view of all this stuff. I think that he's exonerated in the Mueller investigation. If anything, maybe some periphery damage to people not really super close to him. He goes on and surprises everybody with a non-blue wave possible keeping of the House. And he wins a resounding re-election. And so I don't think you need to deploy this weaponry right now. That's me.
Yeah, so I would deploy the weaponry
I'm sure he disagrees
full
with me.
Speed ahead.
I'm sure there's going to be 12
Charlie,
more guys that come off the list.
I
sure hope so.
It's not just some of the things he said, because some of the things he said have been very disgusting. Just look at his track record, though. He was the CIA station chief in Saudi Arabia during the Khobar Towers. He was the executive director of the agency on 9/11. He was the CIA chief during the Iraq WMD deal. He ran the CIA when it spied on Congress and then lied about it. He made all these Benghazi survivors sign this non-disclosure agreement. He actually gave it to them at a memorial service. He lied to Congress about the dossier, and it's believed he leaked the dossier. And when you add that to the fact that he's on television and on Twitter saying the president's mentally unfit, accusing the president of being a traitor, and then calling on the president's cabinet to remove him from office, I don't think he deserves it.
It's your world, and I'm just living in it, and I'm going to let Charlie talk. But let me just tell you, you're going down a slippery slope that you don't want to be 8 years from now with a Democratic president that's taking shots at guys for political reasons. And so you guys are going to disagree with me. I'm sure the president...
Well, I thought after 8 years, Mike Pence is going to be president.
I hope so. I hope so. I call him 46. But I hope so. But let me tell you something. If it's not the case, you got to be very careful on national security, making it a partisan issue.
I understand that.
Sorry.
Is there a reason he should have the security clearance post actually being in the position? And it's a good thing none of these guys ever leak. Right?
Yeah, right.
It's a good thing that, Comey and all these guys with security clearance never actually talked to reporters and divulged secret information. Look, here's the problem, is that Brennan, right now, he hates Trump a lot more than he cares about what's the well-being of America is. He is pathologically determined to undercut this president. You see what he's saying on cable news? It's all about him. I love it. He says, I will not be silenced. Who's silencing you? You go on cable news every other day calling for, the constitutional provision for the cabinet to convene.
It's not about a free speech.
No,
it really isn't. And you know what? These guys leverage this clearance that they get to look at classified information to use as credibility to
boost their speaking fees,
speaking gigs, and to go on cable television. So he has, I think, forfeited the right that they have been afforded to him, because this is a courtesy. This is a professional courtesy, and he is disrespected.
This is the first time I'm on Fox News where it's 2-on-1. You know what I mean?
We should do this more often.
I'm usually on the home team here.
Yeah,
okay,
I know. You feel like Juan Williams, don't you?
But here's the problem. Everything you guys are saying, I get everything you're saying. I'm just telling you, you got to be cautious here, because these people, whether you like them or not, all their faults and defects, the country has been by and large kept very safe, and the rank and file people in these agencies, they love the president.
Wow, Anthony Scaramucci, the reasonable and measured one.
I don't want to go too crazy.
The table, okay.
It's his world, though.
All right. Now, this was a bad week for the Cuomo